this evening. I've got time just for one more question, so I'm going to go to Michael Mundy. Michael.
At what age should one no longer be allowed to drive?
Now, I'm assuming, Michael, you're asking this question because obviously the Duke of Edinburgh was involved in a collision. Fortunately, no one was seriously injured. Duke of Edinburgh in 97. Now, Nick, I'm not saying you're 97, of course not, but you have got an important birthday coming up, I gather. So I wondered what your view is on this.
Do you know what, Michael? There are some people of 18 who shouldn't be allowed to drive, and there are some people of 95 who probably shouldn't be allowed to drive. I have concerns, as I understand it, and I'm sure I'll be corrected if I'm wrong, that currently when you reach the age of 70, you effectively self-certify. You say that I'm okay. I have concerns about that. Having said that, we have to realise that living in rural areas, a car isn't a luxury, a car is a necessity. It is the only way that that person, perhaps elderly person, can get around, and with the loss of bus services and everything else, we have to be aware of that. The most important thing is that everybody got out okay from that accident. The most important thing is everybody got away from it. But I wouldn't want to live in a country where automatically when you reach 70 or 75, the presumption was we take your licence away. We probably need a check from an optician or a doctor or something like that, and that's the way forward I would suggest.
Ian.
So, my dad's 87, he's still driving, he's a better driver than me, and all the statistics still point to that. It's basically, it's young men when they first get a car.
Well, actually, let me give you some statistics. The risk of a driver aged over 70 killing a pedestrian, this is according to the Road Safety Foundation, is half that of drivers aged up to 25. Thought just worth mentioning.
No, that's exactly right, Fiona. And so, no, I mean, I if I can say this, I agree with Nick.
Go on, knock yourself out.
I'm not
but you have to be quite brief, we've only got a couple of minutes left.
So, you know, regular testing, probably over 70, is a good idea. And ladies and gentlemen, nobody is above the law. Everybody has to wear their seatbelt, prince or pauper.
Sue-Ann.
I'm not in favour of making knee-jerk reactions or passing laws based on high-profile cases. And I think that if we are going to look into this issue, we need to make it evidence-based. So I would be in favour of maybe the government consulting some kind of consultation with the medical profession, with the driving sector, with various community groups, to assessing what might be an appropriate balance to strike. But you're right, it's just been said, older drivers don't pose the highest risk on our roads, it's actually younger men. So,
I'm feeling younger already.
He's going to be so flattered, he'll definitely be coming back. Sonia, just briefly.
Well, I wonder if everyone should face a retest after a set number of years, because we can all become worse drivers. The thing I will say about older people in cars, though, is that for many of them, a car isn't a lifestyle choice like it is for Prince Philip, it's a lifeline out into the community. My granddad, before he died, he relied on his car. And if we were to introduce tighter controls on older people driving, I think we have to make sure there's a plethora of other services in the community, ways for them to get around, community centres, Meals on Wheels. But we know that in the last decade, a lot of that has been cut back. We've got a massive problem with isolation and loneliness and older people in this country. So I would be very reluctant to do anything that cuts older people off.
John, we've just got a few seconds left, I'm afraid.
Right.
Your view?
I'm not sure I fancy retests for older people as a matter of course. My dad was nearly 90 when he ran into the back of a bus and took the decision for himself that he ought to stop driving. I think someone should sit down and give Sir Prince Philip a really stiff talking to.
All your luck with that, John. All your luck.
And I'm not volunteering.
On that note, our hour is up. Next week we're in Lincoln, and the week after that we're in Motherwell. So